Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Grand Bay Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple, very pretty Mother's Day card. We'll be making these beautiful pop-up flower cards, but they also light up. So stay tuned and you'll see how to do that. To make these very pretty Mother's Day cards, you're going to need a couple items. The first thing you'll need is this template, which gives you your flowers and your pot and your stems. And I found this at leftbraincraftbrain.com, and I'll add that link to the back to the video for you. You'll also need some copper wire. You need some LED batteries. Well, you just need one really. And these are the small batteries that we usually use for like watches and key fobs for cars. And then you'll need an LED light. And I'm going to use the orange color ones because they kind of match the flower petals. You'll need a pair of scissors, and you'll need some glue, or you can use some double-sided tape, which I'm going to use. Now all of these items that I have here, you can find them very reasonably priced on Amazon.com. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is cut out your flower petals. Now I'm not going to cut them out because I've already done that part. And so here we are with my flower petals. And so you'll take your first flower petal and you'll fold it in half so that one of the petals is touching, but the other one is still showing. And once you get a good strong crease in that, open your flower petal up and then continue to fold along the petals. Like so. And just keep folding and folding and folding each one until you meet up and it looks like you just have one petal. Give it a good squeeze to make sure it's folded good and then open it up. Now you'll take your glue or your double-sided tape like I'm using and tape one petal so that it's lying on top of the other. And now you've got your first petal of your flower. And so you can continue to do that with each one. Remember to fold it in half so that one of the petals meets, but you still have one petal exposed. And then you open, and as we did before, continue to fold them along the petals, making sure that each one touches. You get a nice fold in, and then you'll take another piece of your double-sided tape or use your glue to glue that petal down as well. And now you've got two petals. And then you take your third petal and continue with the same method. Now that you have all three of your flower petals, it's time to put your flower together. So you'll take one and fold it close in half flat and do the same with the other two. Now we want this to be a pop-up. So in order to achieve that effect, we're going to tape them together so that they overlap. So I'm going to take one and I'm going to take my second and overlap it in the heart shape. And so I'll take my double-sided tape and place one piece on this side of the petal, place another piece on this part of this petal, and then place the other heart shape on top so that they line up. Press them firmly so that they stick. And so now that they're stuck together, they open kind of like that. And then I'm going to flip it over and take my third and again place it on so that they fold up together like that. So I'll use my double-sided tape again, and I'll line these two up. As you can see, there's one piece here, and then the other piece is here. And so I'll place a piece of tape here, and a piece of tape on here, right where the hearts are. And then where we have our 3 petals of the flower, I'm going to line these 2 heart pieces up with where I put my 2 pieces of tape, like so. And again, I'm pressing firmly so that when they open up, we have a little flower put together. Very nice. And it'll fold flat when we close our card. Okay, so now we get into the fun part of making our flower, and that's where we make it light up. So what I'm going to do is take a LED light, and I'm going to slide it into the side in the center of this petal. Now, something I want you to notice about LED lights. The 2 leads are of different length. You have one that's longer and one that's slightly shorter. The long side will be your positive and the short side is the negative. Now this is important because if you connect them wrong, then it won't light up. So we have to make sure we remember long side is positive, short side is negative. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set this aside first because we're not going to get to that part yet. And I'm going to bring out my card. I'm using yellow construction paper because I think it looks very pretty contrasted to the orange and red of the flower. And you want to just take that and fold it in half, just like a regular card. Put a nice good crease down the middle. And then you can take your flower and kind of visualize where you want the flower and how it will close inside the card. And if you've taped your petals together, it'll pop up when you open. Now hopefully you've already cut out your flower pot and your stems, but if you haven't, you can take some time to do that now. And so the next thing we're going to do is take our copper wire and we're going to cut off 2 strips of our copper wire, approximately the same length. And then we'll need just another shorter strip to connect our circuits. And so we'll have our flower here at the top. We'll have our copper wires running down from our flower. We'll have our stems to cover up our copper wires and our flower pot to cover our battery. Okay, so in order to make these stick, this is tape, copper tape, that's sticky on both sides. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways to make sure that I can get it on there. And you want to make sure that when you peel it off, that you do it very gently because this can tear very easily. So I'm just going to peel the edge gently to get it to peel up. And then I'll place one end of it onto my cardstock paper, let it lay flat, and let it run all the way up, gently peeling it back, trying not to tear our copper wire. And I'm going to let it roll up a little, just like that, because we're going to have to attach our leads to it. And we're going to do the same process with our other strip of copper wire. Next, we'll take our battery and we'll place it with the ridge surface down onto one of our copper strips, and we'll take our short piece to connect them. And we're just going to place it so that it sticks and holds it into place on the back of here and roll it out so that it connects to the other. Now you can take one of your lights and test it to make sure it lights up. So if you place it on the two strips, as you can see, positive side on this side, negative side on that strip, and it lights right up. So now we're ready to put our flower together. And take the one we made with the light already in it, and we spread them apart just a little bit so that we can stretch them out amongst our two copper strips. And then we just roll the last of that copper tape up and connect the other side with our copper strip. And as you can see, it's already lighting up. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And we did our connections right because we got our light. Now you can take your stems. They give you 3 stems just to make it look decorative. You can use those. Just place them right over the copper strips. And if need be, you can glue them down, or like I'm doing, going right back to the two-sided tape just to hold it in place. I'm going to take our third stem and slide it in the middle. I'm going to put a little bit of two-sided tape on the back of it just so that it sticks to the paper. And then last we have our flower pot. And we'll take our flower pot and fold the little tabs down at the edge. And we'll also need to fold it in the center because it will need to fold when we close our card too. And so now it should look like this. And try to line it up over the center of our card. You may want to press it down a little bit, spread it out, making sure that your center of your pot lines up with the center of your card. And then back to the two-sided tape again. Just put a small strip on those folds that we use, or if you're using glue, just use your glue and put a light film of glue on there. And again, making sure we're lined up. Go ahead and stick that down. And there you have your card. And if you want to, you can tape it or glue it down as well. right behind the two top petals, like so. And then you have your card, and when you close it, you can decorate the front. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you so much. And when she opens, she'll have her light up card.